What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. It's Joanna here, founder and CEO of Supwell. We've got another week in the books. Hopefully it was another week of good training and running for you guys all out there. I know last week I mentioned temperatures were starting to cool down a little bit. I was completely wrong. My runs this week have been probably 90 degrees for almost all of them, but I can smell fall around the corner. So just gotta hang in there for a few more weeks, and then we'll truly have those 60-degree mornings that we're getting teased with. So today we're gonna do another best deals of the weekend video. I rounded up 10 of the best ones I could find. I looked at a bunch of the top shoe websites, I combed through deals, and I gathered 10 of the best ones across a bunch of different categories. So we got race day shoes, tempo shoes, daily trainers, and recovery shoes. All right, guys, let's get into it. Alright guys, so first up we got the Brooks Hyperion Max. Now this is one that I've been using in my rotation for the past few weeks. I got this from Dick's Sporting Goods. They're doing a deal where you can see the price once you add it to your cart. This is going to be a good option for fast training. It's not the most comfortable or cushioned shoe, but it does have a really nice rocker up here. And when you are running with strength, getting up there on your toes, it's a really good option to hit those fastest training paces. If you don't like running in plated shoes, this is also a viable option for race day, especially if you're doing a 10K or half marathon. It also could be a daily trainer if you're a very efficient runner or if you like a firm ride, but most people will probably prefer a softer type of shoe for those everyday runs. All right, next up we got the Topo Specter for $100 at Running Warehouse. Now, this is a really interesting one that I've been looking at for the past few months. I might have to go ahead and grab it on this deal, but it's a dual foam construction midsole, so it has this drop-in layer in the top of Puma, and then the chassis of the shoe is EVA. So I've had some running friends say they really like this as a long run shoe. I also think it's a good daily training option. And with Topo designing these shoes for wider feet and with a more anatomical feel, it's a really good choice if you want to do something that will protect your feet a little bit more and give you more room than in a traditional running shoe. All right, guys, next up we got the Asics Novablast for $97 at Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, this is a really good deal. This is one of the most popular shoes of the past year and a half. It's very soft, it's bouncy, it has a nice compressive midsole. It's using that same FF Blast Plus foam that we see in the Asics Gel Nimbus, which is my favorite recovery running shoe right now. It's a really good shoe if you like a softer feel for your everyday miles. Now, this won't be the shoe that you want to use for faster training, for picking up the pace, or for racing, but if you want a shoe that's comfortable, that's cushioned for everyday miles, then this is going to be a great choice. All right, next up, we got the Puma Deviate Nitro 2 for $120 at Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, this is a dual foam shoe with the plate. So there's a layer of Puma and then there's a layer of supercritical EVA, and in between those, there's a plate. So this is a really good daily training shoe if you want a bit more extra pop and zing in your everyday miles. You can also use it for longer runs if you want something that's a bit snappier, and it does have that Puma grip outsole, so it's going to be very durable and very versatile. You can even take it out in wet weather or trails if needed. All right, next up, we got the Saucony Ride for $60 at DSW. Now, this is the Ride 15, very similar to the current version Ride 16 we see. And this deal has been out for a while. The reason I wanted to highlight it here is because I just did this video on the Ride 17, which looks to be getting the Saucony Triumph's midsole foam, which is that Power Run Plus. And I know a lot of people are taken aback that they're making this a softer shoe. So it's like that Jay-Z line, right? You want my old stuff, buy my old albums. You can still go buy that firmer ride if you want a firmer ride. So it is out there for $60. It's one of the best snappy, firm daily trainers on the market. And with the Ride 17 on the horizon in the next few months, we'll probably see the Ride 16 go to that sub 100 price point too soon. All right, next up, we got the New Balance Rebel V3 for $100. Now, this was $65 at REI a few weeks ago, and that's the deal I got. I'm not seeing any of those $65 deals anymore, but I am still seeing it for $100. It normally retails for $130, so it's still a pretty good discount. This is gonna be a really good option if you like a flexible, softer feel, more bouncy feel for your speed work. I personally really love this for tempo style effort. If I have a medium, let's say 4 to 8 mile run where I want to be pushing the pace, I'm not going to be hitting my fastest 10K or 5K paces, but I'm also not going traditional zone 2. This is a really good shoe for that. You could also use it as your daily trainer if you like a more flexible feel. I personally like something that's a bit more structured and a bit firmer for daily training, but this is a really good option for picking up the pace. All right, next up we have the Adizero SL for $60 at Adidas.com. Now, I got this one for $60 at Adidas.com a few months ago. They actually took off this colorway and were only showing the new colorways for the last few weeks, but now this is back and it's still at that very steep discount. I'm not exactly sure why they did this. Maybe they wanted to drum up more demand for the other more serious colorways, but I love the way that this looks, and at $60, this is a great buy. This is probably my favorite shoe in the rotation right now, and the reason is it's because it has this light strike midsole. It's an EVA-based foam. It's on the firmer side, but then up in the forefoot, it has Light Strike Pro. So when you want to pick up the pace, it does sing a little bit due to that Light Strike Pro up here, but then at slower miles, it has a comfortable, cushioned, and almost soft feel now that the foam has broken in a little bit. Next up, we got the New Balance SC Pacer for $80 at Running Warehouse. Now, this SC Pacer is one of the first shoes in this 5K, 10K racing segment that we're starting to see pick up a little bit. There's the Saucony Sinister in there. There's the Hoka Silo Road, but this is one of the OGs that came out competing with that Nike Streak Fly, competing with that Adidas Takumi Sen. And this one has a snappier, way more low profile feel than something like the Takumi Sen might have. Now, it uses the fuel cell foam with a carbon plate in the middle. If you like to feel close to the ground, if you like a low profile ride, this is going to be a really good option for you. I would recommend this for fast runners, for efficient runners. If you're the type of runner who wants more cushion and support for your racing shoes, I wouldn't go with this. I would go for something like the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3 or Speed 3. But for those runners who are really trying to push it and get that PR, this is a great racing choice or a great interval training choice. All right, next up, we got the New Balance SC Elite V3 for $140 at Running Warehouse. Now, this is a marathon racing shoe that has a bit of a softer feel than some of those other race day shoes we see out there like Nike Vaporfly and Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. It uses that fuel cell foam, same one we see in the Rebel V3 and same one we see in the SC Pacer. In here, there's a big stack of it, so it's going to provide a lot of cushioning, and then that carbon fiber plate does provide some snap on toe off. Like I mentioned, it's not going to be as firm as some of those other shoes, which also means it's not going to be as harsh. So if you want a carbon fiber plated shoe but are leaning more to the comfort side over the speed side for your next race, then I would consider the SC Elite V3. Finally, we got the New Balance Propel V4 for $80 at Running Warehouse. This is a really interesting shoe. It's a plastic plated shoe that uses New Balance fuel cell foam. So there's a pretty thick stack of it. It's going to provide a lot of cushioning, kind of a soft feel, but because it has that plastic plate in it, you can use it for some up-tempo efforts. So if you're looking for a plated shoe but don't want something that's super harsh, you don't want a carbon fiber plated shoe, maybe this is your first shoe with the plate in it, the Propel V4 is a great choice. Also could be a good recovery shoe or everyday type of running shoe if you want something that's a bit more comfortable. It's not going to be oriented towards fast efforts. It's not going to be as snappy as something like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3, but for those who are getting into running and want a plate in their shoe, then this is a great choice and a great buy, especially at $80. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are all the deals for this weekend. Let me know in the comments which one of these you are most excited about. I also threw down there all of the deals from last week so you can see those too. As always, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, and I'll make sure to keep you up to date on the latest and greatest in the world of performance running.